Write down all the times you said something was going to happen and then the result of what happened. And then measure how many times you was right. Then you need to just realize that, oh, my vision is totally off. And then it's going to be a little square like that.
Oh, tap where your face is. Okay,
yeah.
Go for it. I'll do it.
It's actually a little bit of relief not being on camera.
I hate being on camera.
Me too.
All right.
That's why I might like
square,
this. This might be
It's cool. It's cool.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
All right. Go for it, bro. You good?
All right. What's going on, you guys? Back with another episode. And in this episode, I'm with TK right now. He is the owner of Diff Work Studios out here in Oakland. And basically what I want to do with this series is just interview anybody who I feel like has an inspirational, motivational journey. And I kind of just want to capture their vision as to, you know, what got them to the point where they're at right now. And I feel like TK is an individual who's amounted a good amount of success in his life. And I just kind of want to get him to touch on it a little bit. So TK, let me just let you go ahead and speak on what it is that you do.
Well, I am the CEO of Diff Works, Stay Diff. Man, I do a lot of stuff. I'm also the head of the video department, so also do the accounting, all that different things like that. From employing me and my partner, Lamont. Also, we have a whole bunch of staff. So we're basically, with multimedia firm, we just running down videos, photography, audio, design, apparel, and education, which utilizes all of those branches at the same time. So what we do is we're just doing the things that because we're all creatives, we're just doing the things that we've done growing up, but putting a basically business behind it, a corporate angle to it. And yeah, doing some big boy things.
Okay. And like I said, one thing that I really like to touch on is the journey, because I understand that nothing happens overnight. And I feel like in today's time, people kind of get caught on that. They want things to happen tomorrow, and it doesn't work out like that. So just touching on that, like, man, where did the vision start for you? When? How long ago? And yeah, we'll go ahead. When did it start?
Well, I've always had, since I was like 4 years old, I always, you know, my dad was big on being an entrepreneur, because he was an entrepreneur himself. And he was always big on who I was giving my money to, right? And paying attention to that. The big thing is it came from just feeling like, you know, just over time, I've always had a mindset to where people say, oh, yeah, you think outside the box. Like, I never knew anything like that. I just was thinking, right? And I thought everybody was thinking that way, of wanting to do the things that they wanted to do, right? And then I realized, oh, people don't necessarily go after the things they want. So that's when I realized something was happening with how I was thinking about stuff. So, and being the only child growing up with hella cartoons and no figures or real people to even like base what your limitations are, right? My limitations were on the characters, cartoons that I saw, you know what I mean? And they had no limitations. So I didn't have no limitations with my thought process. And the other thing too is how I even started this company was like, you know what? My people was enslaved, at least the ones I thought, and how I was thinking in back in the day. I was like, you know what? How can I not be enslaved? That's what I was thinking in my mind. Like, how can I make my generation not enslaved? Because, you know, we're all conditioned for whatever it is they say. And I say they say because we should all research our personal history and see if that even applies to you. But I went on this journey and said, you know what? Freedom is decolonization of self, right? So I decolonized myself, and I realized what was the biggest thing that was, you know, I was like, okay, I'm on a spiritual journey, right? I'm clear on my spiritual journey. Okay, my health, what is next? I was like, oh, I need some fucking money. That's what it is. Okay, they're using labor, whoever it is, right? I need the money. How can I get the money? And I'm like, what gets money? I'm like, oh, not people, entities. And then that's why I became an entity. So I'm not a person anymore, I'm an entity.
I like that. So that kind of takes me into the next subject I kind of want to talk about a little bit. What did the role look like for you in the beginning, starting off? Because I, at least the way I look at it, you have, it seems like a few workers. I'll put the image on the screen, but this is a pretty big studio. I know this didn't happen overnight. Like, what did the beginning part of what type of sacrifices did you have to make in order to get to the point where you're at right now? And before I even get to that, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 36.
36. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you answer.
Well, how it happened was no one believed. Right? No one believed. Everybody doubted. People second guessed. I want to say no one believed because I like to say that because I'm a lightweight emo. So I like to say nobody was there. I don't got no friends. Like, it was people there. It was some people there. And, but it was few people who saw the vision, even the people who were there, while I realized this when I was starting this up is that even the people who were there, I was trying to tell them what I was doing, right? But that takes a level of faith that it's on that unique person to see if they have that for you. But with me, they're not inside of me, right? Maybe they're measuring their inabilities to what they perceive that I might mirror their inabilities. Like, oh yeah, I would give up. So I know he gonna give up. So why am I gonna even invest in that, right? But I don't know, I might be going off the question.
No,
I'm just saying,
you good. Yeah.
I'm just saying in general is that when I started this, I was working, I was a behavioral interventionist. Before that I was in a rap group, with some of my boys and stuff like that. And I always was gathering people together to do something that was creative, right? And what I realized was when I was in a rap group, if I were to do something wrong, it would be spread out amongst 3 people, so I wouldn't even have to face my own shit that if I fucked up, right? And I realized that. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna challenge myself, I'm gonna take it all on me. So if I fuck up, I fuck up. I want to see what I'm made of. So this is just a personal display of my inner what I can do. Can I do this? Can I make it happen? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what it is.
And in amassing this, what you have now, like what type of sacrifices did you have to make along the way? Like, do you have any examples of things that you might have had to give up, people you had to cut off, anything like that? Time is what everybody wants from you, right? Yeah. And what I had to sacrifice was just being, relationships. This was a journey. I've been journeying on this my whole life, but I was I had a relationship, a real good relationship that I was in, but it was taxing because she wanted to be in a situation to where things in her mind of traditionally would measured success. She was like, why you not in school? Why you not doing this? Why you not doing that? And then I was like, man, I got this thing. He says music ain't gonna get you there, blah, blah, blah. And I said, nah, I got another plan. Like, I'm just testing this shit out. Like, I'm beta testing everything. Right. But I'm thinking people know what's inside of me again. So that's my realm of thought. But she did what was best for her. She got exactly what she wanted. I got exactly what I wanted. But sometimes as you grow, the sacrifices that you take, it's alchemy for me. And alchemy is you gotta I was just about to ask you to break that down. Yeah.
So alchemy is for a life to happen, a life has to end. It's stuff of equal value, right? So that's how you transmute energy. So it's like how you always lose somebody when something good is about to happen. Right? It's gonna happen, right? You can't determine who it is. But you got to understand that that's just process of life. You know, you can, it's a lull in shit. Like, okay, shit, man, this shit's fucked up right now. What we gonna do? Me, I cherish that shit. Hit me with that shit. You know what I mean? I don't like it, but I know in my mind, I know my gusto in me.
It's a necessary.
Yeah, it has to happen.
Yeah.
So, but as far as sacrifice, I didn't have no money. I didn't have nothing. I was working 3 jobs. I was like, man, I was in Seattle for like 5 years. I moved away. And when I was there, I told myself that I'm going to be around nobody I know. I'm going to see if people still like me. Because, you know, like when you move away, you're like, do people like me? Maybe this is where I'm from. I was born here. And then I started going other places and people were praising me. You know what I mean? Like people were like looking at me like, bro, who the fuck are you? Like where do you come from? Dang, you cherish me, all that type of stuff. So when I was there and I started being in other cultures, like ethnic cultures, right? You know, in Bay Area, we have a lot of different people, which a lot of other people have, but I never seen that many white people in my life. So that changed my life as far as just being around, because, you know, and I'm speaking for my personal self and being uncut. It was that's part of decolonization of how I view different things, because I thought things were out of my reach because of ethnic reasons, which is true, but yet it's a mindset too, in playing the system for whatever it is, right? Because the system is playing you. So what we do is I don't want to play, but you got to play along. You know what I mean? But you can determine what character you are in the play. You know what I mean? It's literally like, it's not chess, right? Everybody says it's not chess, it's blah, blah, and it's actually a screenplay. Are you going to be the homeless dude? Are you going to be the motherfucking actor that thinks he has everything out here but doesn't really have shit? Or are you going to be the jovial character? That's why you see the masks, you know, like the drama mask. It's like you see one sad or one happy, because it's like it's so many realms of shit. I'm going hella deep in this shit, but
nah, you good. That's actually what I wanted though, because well, it's actually, man, 2 directions I kind of wanted to go. I'm gonna pick one. I guess I'll touch on the spirituality aspect. It seems like you have a strong understanding of self. Where did that come from, and how has that played a role in you know, you getting to the place that you are right now?
That comes from like constant attacks on myself from me and everybody else. And then one day I just had enough. And you know, it's a lot of self-talk. A lot of self-talk helps. A lot of quiet time. I was telling Greg how, you know, it could be weeks where I don't speak, you know, because, you know, I got a lot of thoughts in my head. So sometimes, you know, if I'm not around nobody calls me. Like when I was in Seattle, a lot of people didn't call me. So if I see my roommates, I might be like, hey, what's up? But if I don't see my roommates and I'm in my room or they're out, I'm in the house for 3 weeks, you know, maybe going to work. But that's the only time I'm talking. I'm not talking no other times. And if we say it's like winter break or whatever, and I'm in the house for like 2 weeks and I go eat something, or I'm ordering DoorDash and really don't have no contact with nobody, I haven't said nothing in 3 weeks. So that level of silence and peace does something to you. So with me, my self-driven is all I had was myself. You know, when I fought, I was by myself. You know, I had people around me, you know, like Lamont and all those people I was growing up. But I was always to myself because I had another plan. I was future forward. You know what I mean? I had, like, I call this thing that I used to have, is called the time traveler sickness. I hate when people diagnose you like with stuff, so I diagnose myself. So I call it the time traveler sickness.
Yeah.
So the time traveler sickness is when you dwell on the past, but you live in the future, but then you get depressed because your present is forever constant, right? So imagine if you constantly like, man, you're in the present, but you're like, man, my past was so fucked up. my past was so fucked up, right? And then when you dwell on that past, you're like, man, my past is so fucked up. And then you're like, man, but I see myself living in this fucking castle and shit, right? But you're not there. You're still in the present. So all you should really do is really focus on the present and make sure the things that you're doing in your present adds to your future, and let your past, you know, use that as a learning, you know, learning lesson. So all these thought processes, how I'm thinking, came from silence.
Came from silence.
Came from literally sitting by myself.
Yeah.
It was like, how the fuck am I about to get out of this shit? So
that's solitude. And the second thing second direction I kind of wanted to go, you talked about living in Seattle. You were in Seattle just how long ago? 3 years, you said?
It's like 3 years. This will be going on the 4th year.
Okay. And so that time you spent in Seattle, do you feel like that was pivotal to your growth, and and how so?
I feel like being in Seattle, because being from Oakland, first of all, is this hustler, this mentality, right? But when I went to Seattle, I saw corporate mentality. I saw people giving out money to corporations. I saw people having businesses and all those different things out there. Like random people have a program with 20 kids at different sites throughout the school system. And I'm like, damn, he's like, yeah, I just got an LLC. And I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? You really got all these programs going? Like, yeah, I got all these programs going. So that made me see the, I don't know, it's like the framework of what was happening around me. Because I was always part of youth programs, but I never knew if I could do it. You know what I mean? But now I know I can do it. You just got to be able to provide something, because it's business back in the day, like back to business, but it's all just principles of shit. You gotta learn why things even happen, right? Why is this building going up right by me? Why didn't I have no say on this building? Like, because the city commissioners and project, the people who do shit, they do have meetings in your town hall, but you're not on that list. You know what I mean?
So
but
kind of widen your scope.
It's widen your scope of what is actually happening. Doesn't mean you can really do anything about it, but there are things that's happening around you that you could be part of if you just took time to learn the system of it. And to learn the system of a business I now know the system of what a business, and forever learning things in it. And that's why I even have this, because shout out to all those people who loaned me money in the beginning, and money, and I'm gonna say money on camera, it's literally $500. That like $500. Somebody loaned me $1,300. Shout out to him. You know what I mean? But that's all it took. Yeah. And then I got a job. I was like, oh, I'm gonna pay this, and then I'm gonna pay that person back. I use people as a line of credit. Like, I'm gonna pay you a $500, like then get $500 from somebody else 2 weeks later. Like, okay, cool. I'm gonna use that person to pay that person to pay the next person back until I got the money, And now we got this. It's like it's so much shit that goes into this, brothers. It takes money, but the functions of money and the functions of getting this is just like finding places with payment plans, right? I realize, I'm like, damn, if Walmart is making $1 million a year, like, are they rebuying everything, all their equipment? They're really paying $1 million to start shit up? Like, nah, they're financing shit. You feel me? They're leveraging shit. So they're really got a $100,000 machine and paying probably like $1,200 a month. You know what I mean? Right. Or you can get a $14,000 machine and pay $150 a month, and you could be doing fucking big scale shit, but you wouldn't know that. You think business doesn't happen for you because you lack some magical gene that these motherfuckers have. And some people are more talented and equipped with that shit, but it's just on you wanting to be done. I was tired of being broke. And I was never broke, but I was just like, compared to, I don't got all the money in the world now, but I got something to leverage, and that's all it is. That's what matters. Money is one thing, but walking in the bank and say, I got this much assets, let's talk, than opposed to, hey, bruh, I'm trying to get this credit card. I'm like, nah, bruh, like, who are you? Right? You see the people in the bank, like, I've never been, I don't fool with banks like that, but how you go in the bank now, my now situation, like, oh, TK, oh, all right, motherfucker, like, make a deposit, they send you emails and shit like, hey, thank you.
It's completely different.
It's, bro, it's different, bro.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple of quick questions, and before I get to the last question, I really want to ask. First question: did you go to college?
I went to a college. I went to a UC.
Okay.
UC me in Oakland. I ain't go no goddamn school. Fuck school. I ain't go no goddamn school. What the fuck?
So no college.
Nah, but if you go to school, go to a school. Go to a school to learn something in particular. Go for business or something like that. But it's just on YouTube, and better get it before they start charging, and cut this shit off. But yeah, go ahead.
So the skills that you have now is kind of like self-taught,
So yeah.
Or you went to YouTube and you use all these other resources.
No, a lot of these schools were. I mean, a lot of these tools that I have come from back to knowing self, right? Because when you go into a room, if I go into a room and I'm trying to do different things, I'm leveraging what I know, and that's a level of confidence, a level of understanding what you have and what is valued at. So if I understand that I know how to do videos, right? I need to at least shoot some videos so I can then show an example, which I can then tell them what I can do for them and be able to write a proposal, which are all templates online right now. So what I got to do is learn the tools, how to craft the tools, make the example, and then shop what I want. That's it. So for example, if I go to corporate, I'm giving out some gems right now. If I go to corporate right now, they're going to ask me for a RFP. Didn't know what the fuck that shit was until now. Probably like, not now, but back when I started. That's a request for a proposal, right? So when you do that, you go, shit, I can't write a proposal. Find somebody you know how to write, which I did. Found a template for it, so I don't want to give them a template of shit. So I at least have a structure, tell them what I want, have some videos posted for examples, and then I shopped it. You can have an LLC with some insurance. Insurance, you can get it for damn near $200 a month. You know what I mean? So now you starting your business was free. You got to pay $800 after 365 days, or I guess not that, probably less than that. But at the end of the year, probably more than that, really, because you pay whatever. I don't want to go into that, but I'm just saying in general, get you some insurance. Now you shop what you're doing to corporate, and people who may need your services, call people, text people, and that's it.
And next question, you say you grew up in Oakland, right?
Mm-hmm.
What part of Oakland did you grow up in?
I'm from East Oakland. I grew up in East Oakland.
East Oakland. And I mean, I don't know if the viewers know anything about Oakland, but what is that area like? Well,
how I grew up in was, my mom worked a lot. She worked like 2 jobs, maybe 3 jobs at one time. So I didn't grow up I don't even use the word, let's say in a situation to where it's a hostile environment.
Right. So
I was able to thank my mama, it was like not far away from, but it was just enough to where I didn't have to worry about, drug situations or people shooting and stuff like that.
Close. That's kind of how I grew up.
Yeah.
You were close to it, but you wasn't.
Yeah, I wasn't, I wasn't in the mix of it. But when I went to high school, I started getting in, middle school and high school, I started getting in fights, and I'm like, why am I fighting these people, and why can't we care about each other? I'm like, it's because you ain't got no daddy, or you ain't got no mom, or you it's some type of impoverished situation going on in your surroundings, to which has you viewing the world or even out like interacting with people in a certain way. And I realized that early.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking these questions is just because I want people to understand that you're just the average guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm average.
Yeah, nothing special. You just took advantage of things around you. And go ahead.
But I'm average amongst the gods that I know, so I'm above average than all of this shit.
That's a good way to put it.
So how how I view myself is very high, but yet, you know, I'm not a narcissist because I view everybody at that level too, though. Like everybody I see, I view in the highest light. You know what I mean? So that's why, you know, some people, they recite, it's almost like a fake ass, like, oh yeah, like people, when we see all these motivational shits all the time, and some of that shit be real empty. It's like, it's not, it doesn't, it's like, it's not, it doesn't, it feels to me, it doesn't even have a root to it. It doesn't even feel like it's not hearty enough for me when I be seeing shit. So when I say shit, I intentionally try not to say what nobody else has said. Like, it kind of like, I remember when people like, that's cool, man. When we was a little like Michelangelo, I would never say that shit. Because I used to not want to be them. You know what I mean? I want to do my own shit. So I'd be like, that's Frozen. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, it's cool, man. That's cool. I don't get it. And I'm like, all right, well, you know what I mean? So that's part of my just angle in life.
That sounds like where the name of your company came from.
Oh yeah. People kept calling it different is cool, but back then different was damn near a persecution. Right. So that's what really different is for me, is like we can be different, but this shit was a fucking V for Vendetta on our damn backs to be different. So walking around saying the things you say, you'd be liable to get beat up or killed, you know? So that's why, you know, it seems bubbly, it seems stuff like that, but it's really militant at the end of the day, like to be different.
And last question to take us out of here. What advice would you give a young man now who looks at you as inspiration, motivation? What would you tell him to do?
Well, you know, young man, young woman, young human,
right?
Or whatever you are. Some other types of things walking around here too. I seen them. I'm like, what the fuck? That thing looked like a question mark. Walking around like, but anyway, what I would say is, get out your own way. Just get out your own way. Go do that. If you're a real analytical person, write down all the times you said something was going to happen, and then the result of what happened. And then measure how many times you was right. Then you need to just realize that, oh, my vision is totally off, right? Like, okay, cool. If I do this shit gonna fuck up. Write down how many times that shit happened. When you said that, what date it was gonna be, what happened in the world for you to even say shit like that. Because what it is you gotta get, for me, you know, and for anybody else, if you want to do this too, just question everything. Question yourself. Like, one time I was so sad. One time I was like, bruh, I'm so sad. I'm tired of being sad. I just told myself, I'm like, bruh, I'm tired of being sad, bruh. I'm about to be happy. I'm about to get these coins. And then it changed. Because I told myself, because I am the ruler of me. You know what I mean? And no one else is a ruler of me. That's why people constantly hit you with things to distract you. Images, blah, blah, thought processes. That aren't of you, they're of another person. So now you've been equating your life to other people's altered reality of, it's like literally like me following somebody who's been hypnotized, right? They're not even in their right mind, and you're following those people. So before you follow somebody, you need to follow yourself. Check yourself, self-talk. It's all self. You need to be more self-ish. You watch Blackish, Grownish, all the other types of shit. You need to be more self-ish. Understand you're in a relationship. So that means you're on a ship and you got to relate to everybody on that motherfucker for you to get to where you need to be. You know, you need to have ownership. That's a ship. Don't put holes in your fucking boat. Get to where you need to go and just do that shit. You know, even if you die, even the one who's passed away and didn't get a chance to do, I'm speaking to them too. You got fucking chances to do your shit still. You know what I mean? I always say, if this is my, you know, I believe in different lives and shit. I don't want to come back here no more. I don't want to come back here no more. I'm done. I got other shit to do. And that means I'm gonna live a long life, because we documented this. You know, indigenous people believe your soul gets captured on the camera. So I'm saying this to say, no matter what happens, I'm good, period. you know, and will forever be good because I am the master of my realms. And that's it.